Hi.
Throwaway cause I don't want this tied to my account. I, 24M, and my boyfriend, 24M, have been dating for exactly 2 years now. Our anniversary just passed. I'm posting this a few days after the incident. For some context, he's close friends with my brother who he knew before me and all of my friends and generally is more social than I am. He's super calm, stoic, but can talk for hours with just about anyone. I, however, am much quicker to strong emotions and making rash decisions based on how I feel, which he has tried to be accommodating with. Our relationship has been fine, in stasis for the last 6 months, while I have been slowly spiraling downwards, and he hasn't noticed or said a thing about it. I could tell I was becoming unhappy. I started wondering if I would be happier to be alone, if I wanted to be single, or getting annoyed with some of his habits. I'm pretty self-aware about my mental problems, so I just assumed I was having self-destructive thoughts and pushed them away to convince myself I still wanted this. My life has been a shit show, and this is the first relationship I've had where I've been respected and healthy. I wanted to convince both of us that this is what I wanted. Despite my personal issues, he wasn't a bad boyfriend. It was his first official relationship, and he was also recovering from some traumas due to a past person in his life. I don't want to slam him and make it seem like he's a bad person because he's not, and I'm not mad at him, but I feel like in order to understand why I broke up with him, I have to give some more info about our relationship. Right before we started our relationship, I sat him down and confessed to him that I was bipolar and had PTSD, and that I could feel myself spiraling, and that I'm always going up and down in how I feel. I basically told him this was his chance to leave if he thought it would be too much. He didn't, but he said he couldn't promise he would stick it out through tough times. At the time, I believed this was a good answer because I've had many experiences with people promising not to leave, and they do, in fact, leave. But it stuck with me. There was another incident where I got into an altercation with another person due to what I'll call a misunderstanding, and it led to the man hitting me in the head with a bottle. That was the point I decided to call my boyfriend to come get me, which he did immediately. But when he arrived, he went not to me but to the man who had assaulted me and gave him our personal family doctor's number. After this, my boyfriend and brother got me frozen peas for my head and essentially lectured me. My boyfriend stayed at his apartment for days, and I ended up being the one to apologize to him because I wasn't acting very kind while I had had trauma. The third incident, probably the catalyst for our relationship. Around February of this year, I found out via obituaries that one of my old friends / sorta boyfriend had killed himself. I had let him stay in my apartment spare room because he was homeless at the time. We got pretty close. There was a time when I caught him writing a suicide note, and I did everything I could to convince him not to, and it worked. One day, he just left though, and I never saw him again. He had no family or friends that knew where he was. It wasn't until months later I found out he had died. To make matters worse, late February is the anniversary of the death of another good friend of me and my brother's. I, naturally, confided in my boyfriend about the loss of 2 friends, how much it hurt knowing I couldn't stop him. My boyfriend attempted to comfort me, but instead ended up talking over me the entire time. He didn't tell me I could cry or hug me or anything, he just kept talking. Eventually, I sort of shut down and said I was tired, and we left for home. Since then, I've been frustrated and checked out. My brother and boyfriend have similar issues when it comes to dealing with emotional conflict and trauma. They are so solution-oriented, and neither will allow someone to just cry. The past 2 years, I felt trapped in my own relationship, unable to be honest about how bad I was doing. I tried multiple times to open up, but the reception was the same and nothing changed. We just went through our routines. I had even taken a month off work with the help of my brother because I was doing so bad, and still nothing about for the proposal. It happened on our anniversary at a location important to us. I admit that I was out of it the whole time. My heart wasn't in it because I knew something was wrong but sucked it up. Until he started telling me how much he cared and pulled a ring out. I physically couldn't form any words, but I could tell how horrified I looked based on his expression. I said I was sorry but that I couldn't do this, and ran to call my brother. He talked to me about it and helped me to keep my head straight. He even admitted he had encouraged my boyfriend to do it because he thought I was doing okay. I'm not very open with my brother, so that's not his fault. He, in all his loyal brotherly glory, backed me up. He told me that if this was how I was feeling, I probably already had the answer to whether I should stay or not. And he was right. I talked with him the next day, and he looked miserable, rightfully so. I tried to explain what was happening, that I've been checked out and unhappy. I told him I still loved him. He, of all things, told me he didn't want to be used for negative thoughts, even if he couldn't control it. I asked why that was the concern for him, and that it was a breakup and there would be negative emotions regardless. He basically said he didn't want to be something people used against themselves, and then said he wouldn't be okay after this, and didn't want there to be a day where I hated seeing him, and that he wanted to be friends someday. I told him people didn't need to be okay all the time, and to not rush into being okay. He only asked me what the plan was. He also said he knew it would end this way, and did nothing. It's been only a couple days since then. I moved my stuff out of our apartment and temporarily into my brother's until I find a place. I've left the situation feeling so incredibly free, but so guilty for feeling that way. I know I'm the one who initiated the breakup, and it will look horrible if I move on too fast, but I feel like a weight is off my shoulders. Am I the asshole here? For leaving, for not being satisfied, or any of it? I feel guilty,